Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Sorry for no videos. Just with all the trade stuff, it just makes the videos kind of pointless. But now that it's been a few days, we have everyone available, so you should expect videos from here on out. Outside of days that I have like early appointments, because I have a lot of stuff going on with my health. So there will be some days in the next month or two where I'll need to take a day or so off. With early appointments, I have to go see like a neurologist, gastro, whatever it's called, coming up. I have to get blood work soon. So I'll let you guys know on Reddit on those days that I can't make a video. But yeah, from here on out, since all the trade stuff's done, we should have videos every single night. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the Super Bowl. I had a great Super Bowl. I didn't really spend it with anyone outside of my family, but the Eagles won, so that makes me pretty happy. Alright, all these videos they get posted to a subreddit. I'll have it linked down below. I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. You can ask me questions leading up to lock about the slate, so I'll have that link down below. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on X right here. I also post sportsbook plays, so I'll link that down below as well. All right, yeah. And then if you're looking for more in-depth content, sportsbook plays, I give you guys a lot of sportsbook plays. This is every single day. I will have that linked down below as well. I give you guys player pools, private videos, cores. I will have that link down below. Alrighty, guys, let's go over the slate. We got a 5 gamer here. Let's go backwards. Sorry, 4 gamer. I think this is a really good 4 game slate. I'm really excited for this slate. So nothing really changed with Memphis. They got nothing really changed. We just know what they're gonna do. No, Marcus Smart got traded, but we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna play Ja. They're gonna play Jaren. They're gonna play Bane. Everyone else can just screw off. They're not gonna play anyone else big minutes outside of those three. Great matchup here going up against Phoenix. I love Ja Morant tomorrow. If he is low owned, I am going to be absolutely all over Ja Morant. Fantastic matchup going up against Phoenix. The good thing with Phoenix is they let the other team score on them. They will let the other team's star players score on them, and they will just try to outscore you. That is what they do. So John Morant is going to be able to have his way going up against Phoenix. I'm praying to God that he's low owned tomorrow. Now, in big games, they will play John Morant huge minutes. I haven't looked at the standings to see how Memphis and Phoenix are doing. I believe Memphis is doing really well. Let's just look. I believe they're doing really good. Yeah, they're second in the West. Phoenix is just awful, 26 and 26. But so I don't know if I'd expect mid 30s minutes here, but I would expect low 30s. I think it's a great spot here for John Morant. I am really into John Morant tomorrow. I think he's one of the better plays in the slate, especially if he's going to be low owned. I kind of like Jaren Jackson Jr. I think Desmond Bane is even in play, so I'm really high on the top 3 Memphis guys tomorrow in GPPs. Now, we do have Brandon Clark back, so that's going to make Zach Edey's minutes a lot more non-secure. So I think the range of outcomes for his minutes are anywhere from like 15 to like 24. Matchup going up against Phoenix is fine. Going up against Nick Richards, I think we'll have better value on the slate. It's just the volatility with minutes, and they can always go small, right? It just makes him only a large field GPP play for me. And then yeah, like outside of those three, they're not going to give anyone else like huge minutes. Like we can take a look. So 208 last game they played. They're just not. They benched Jalen Wells basically last game. They're playing some Santi Aldama is like the only guy I kind of trust. Luke Kennard should see teens minutes. Yeah, I mean Aldama is like the only guy I kind of trust off the bench for Memphis. At 4.6K, I think he's a reasonable value. He should at least see 20 minutes, a good point per minute guy as well. So he'd be my favorite Grizzlies value. But I'm not going to go out of my way to roster him. I think he's a fine value. Nothing crazy there. Moving on to Phoenix, okay matchup here. We do have Kevin Durant coming back. Grayson Allen and Mitchell are Grayson Allen probable. Mitchell is questionable. So starters should be Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Nick Richards, Tyus Jones, and then probably one of Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen would be my guess. I know they have Ryan Dunn on the depth chart as a starter, but I don't think he's going to start. I think it would be one of those two with no. Right, it would be one of those two. I think it would be one of those two. Just keep it on the starters. So, with that being said, I always prefer Kevin Durant to Devin Booker. I think both are good spend ups. No Bradley Beal. They're going to have to play more minutes. They're going to have a lot more usage. So, I do like both Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. I do give the edge to John Morant, though, point per dollar. But yeah, I think they're both really solid plays. I prefer KD to Booker. Nick Richards, he's just not going to do a ton offensively. That's the issue. Good rebounder. He's probably going to stockpile some rebounds. He can get you some blocks, but he's not going to do anything offensively. So I don't really know if he has a ceiling at this price point. So I would say more of a large field play for me. And yeah, if we get like Royce O'Neal in the starting lineup at 5K, I like him quite a bit. Good point per minute guy, statue stuffer, wouldn't mind him. And then Grayson's playable. Whoever starts comes off the bench. I think both are good. Tyus Jones, my preferred value of the bunch. With no Bradley Beal, he's just going to do a lot more ball handling. Bradley Beal is doing the ball handling in the second unit, so Tyus is going to have just a better on-ball role, right? So Tyus is my preferred value. I think he's a good value. And then we have KD backs like Bol Bol's going to lose some minutes. Mason Plumlee at 3.8K should see teens minutes. I actually think he's a playable value on this slate. Then if for some reason like Dunn starts, sure, you can go there, but I don't think he's going to start. I think it's just going to be one of Royce or Grayson. Probably Grayson. We'll see though. And then we get into the best game of the night. That is Detroit versus Chicago. Detroit, they're going to be fully healthy here. Cade, yeah, probably my favorite spend up on the slate. I think he looks fantastic. Great matchup going up against Chicago. They play at one of the fastest paces in the league. They don't play any defense. Them, the Pels, the two worst defensive teams in the league. I think Cade just looks absolutely fantastic tomorrow. I love Cade Cunningham. I also really like Jalen Duren at 6.6K. He's been turning it on of late. Great matchup for him. She'll play around 30 minutes, so I'm really high on those two guys. I think Tobias Harris is a really good play at 5.9K. She'll play mid-30s minutes. Great matchup for him. Malik Beasley is even playable off the bench. Oscar Thompson, I think, is solid. Should see low to mid-20s minutes. He's been turning it on of late. Dennis Schroeder's available. He should play teens minutes. Tim Hardaway Jr., I don't hate him for value. I actually think he's a solid point per dollar value tomorrow. So this Detroit team looks pretty good to me. Stewart's playable at 3.4K. So, yeah, I think Detroit is one of the better teams to target on this slate for sure. Let's move on to Chicago, and I think Chicago looks pretty good here. No Lonzo Ball. So, Matas Buzelis, he's been starting. He's been really turning it on. I think he's a good point per dollar value. Solid rebounder. He can put the ball in the basket. He's shooting the ball well. So I do like Montes quite a bit. I think Io is a really good point per dollar play. Just with no Lonzo, they're going to run him into the ground. He also has nice power forward eligibility as well. So I like Io quite a bit. I think Kobe White's still a little bit too cheap. Josh Giddey firmly in play in GPPs. And then, yeah, if you want the ceiling option, I think Vooch is your ceiling option. My only issue with Vooch is his usage with LaVine off the court is a little bit wonky. So I would say like Io, Mata is probably my favorite plays here, point per dollar, and then Kobe White. Paul should see around 20 to 25 minutes, viable contrarian value. Trey Jones didn't play enough for me to go there. And yeah, that's it for Chicago. Let's move on to the Knicks. Fine spot here. OG Anunoby, I would suspect is just going to be out for this game, so we can go over it with him out. Cat should be able to have his way with Miles Turner. Can move him out to the three-point line. She'll play close to 40 minutes in a competitive game, so good spot there for Cat. I think he's another good contrarian spend up. I think I prefer Cat to like Kevin Durant or Booker, and I don't think projections are really going to agree with me, so you might get Cat at really low ownership tomorrow. I think Brunson's really strong as well. Like, it's just too cheap for Jalen Brunson. Cat's been losing a little bit of usage of late, and it's been going to Brunson. I don't know if that's going to continue, but like if the field's going to gravitate towards Cat, you can always go to like a Brunson, but I think both are solid. Josh Hart's playable, always playable. I think the price point's just fine. Should play close to 40 minutes. Has triple-double upside. I never run out of my way to roster Josh Hart. Would prefer OG out, of course, and then McHale at 6'3". Should play big minutes as well. Has a ceiling for the price point. Can grab some rebounds, couple of assists, but he really needs to score like 20-plus real-life points to like really nuke the slate. So some interest there. I think he's a good point per dollar play. And then Precious got extended in the last game. I believe Cat got into early foul trouble, and then the game blew out. But she'll play low to mid-30s minutes. Another good point per minute guy. I think he's super safe. Like, I think I honestly prefer Precious to like a McHale if OG's out. And then Miles McBride should see mid-20s minutes. I think he's another pretty solid value on the slate, assuming OG and Anunoby's out. If OG's in, just disregard anything I said about the rest down here. Probably wouldn't play like any of these guys. And then Josh Hart downgrade. Still really like both the top two guys. Moving on to the Pacers, Miles Turner's questionable. If he's out, you should get Thomas Bryant moving in the star line in a really bad matchup. My issue with him is the minutes, and the price point. He's up to 5K. Listen, he clearly has a ceiling. He'll be productive when he's on the court. It's just, can he stay on the court? Last game, they pulled the plug early. And then he was playing really, really well, so they kept him in. He was actually like a plus 19, which was best on the team. So like maybe he's earned some extra minutes here, but at 5K, I don't know. It's kind of tough. He'll probably be really low owned. I think it's fine. I think he is getting to the price point to where I think he should be, though. I still think he's a solid point per dollar play. Like probably going to project for like 26, 27 fantasy points, right? These values, you know, T.J. McConnell, will see teens minutes playable. Neesmith, I think I'd rather play like a TJ. Matherin should see 20-ish, like 20, 25 minutes. Has a ceiling, 5.2K, playable. Nemhard, probably your safest bet. He's probably my favorite of the three. Got into foul trouble last game. Should see around 30 minutes. I think he's another good value. One of the better values in this like 5K range on the slate for sure. And then I don't know what's going on with Halliburton. I really don't know. I don't know. He had like 0 points in the first half of this game, salvaged. I believe he had a slow start to this game as well. Salvaged a little bit. Don't know what to do. It's a really bad matchup. I think if he's low owned, you can take some shots. And then Pascal Siakam's fine. Not too excited about this team, but I think there's some fine plays. Then we get into Toronto, so they're going to have that same situation as the last game here. So yeah, Scotty Barnes playing alongside Quickly. Now, he is playing alongside Quickly a lot. Like, he's not getting a ton of the non-Quickly minutes. That's going to Sheed. But Scotty, yeah, she'll play close to 40 minutes. I would like him a lot more if Joel Embiid's out on the other side of this game, but statute stuffer, good rebounder, can do everything. I think I prefer like a John Morant for cheaper, or I think, you know, Kevin Durant or Booker look a little bit better to me, but I think Scotty's a great spend up, of course. And then I really like Emmanuel Quickly. He should play around 30 minutes. They could uptick his minutes here. Statute stuffer, good point per minute guy. Around a fantasy point, maybe a little bit over. Might be a little bit under. I'm not entirely sure, but she'll play around 30 minutes. Even if you give him like a fantasy point per minute, he's going to project decently at this price point. I think it's just too cheap, just far too cheap. He should be like 6.5 to 6.6K, especially with no RJ Barrett. So sign me up for that. I think Quickly looks really solid there. Mogbo is going to really depend on if Joel Embiid plays or not. If Joel Embiid plays, and if Mogbo is really popular tomorrow, I want absolutely nothing to do with it with the price point going up. If Joel Embiid's out, I think you can play him. I think he's an okay play. Grady Dick, fine. And then Ochai Agbaji started last game at 4K. I think he's a solid value. And I kind of like Jamal Sheed in large field GPP. Should see around 20 minutes. More of like a, you know, he's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He doesn't really have like a huge ceiling, but when he does score the ball, he can do this. Like some interest there in Sheed in large field GPPs. And then Rob, Boucher with no Jakob they're going to get some run. Boucher is a massive ceiling, so like I don't mind him. He can get extended sometimes, but more often than not, he's going to sit in that like teens minutes range, with like, which at that price point, you're going to have him run pretty good to win you a tournament, right? Moving on to Philly, yeah, Joel Embiid, one of my favorite spin-ups on the board, and a fantastic matchup. He should be able to just dominate Mogbo, Boucher, Orlando Robinson, Cade, my two favorite spin-ups. I might give Joel Embiid the slight edge. He looks phenomenal. I absolutely love Joel Embiid tomorrow. Tyrese Maxey has not missed a beat, even with Joel Embiid back. The good thing with him is the minutes. Going to play 40 minutes a game. He's still taking 25-plus shots a game. The two-man game, pick and roll, his assist numbers are going to be up. It's a good matchup going up against Toronto. I can't knock Tyrese Maxey at all. I think he's solid. Paul George, when Joel Embiid is on the court, really takes a step back. So I honestly think he's priced right for his role playing alongside Joel Embiid right now. It doesn't mean you have to fade him. It doesn't mean you can't play him. He still clearly has a ceiling, right? So I still think you can go there. I think he's fine. Just know he takes really a backseat when Joel Embiid's playing. And then everyone else is priced up from when Joel Embiid's out, so I can't get to anyone here. I guess Grimes is playable at 4.7, but even then, he is pricey. Then if Joel Embiid's out, we know what to do. Then Tyrese Maxey looks fantastic. Then Paul George becomes one of the best point per dollar plays in the slate. Then Kelly Oubre is a good play. Then the bigs. And Andre Drummond looks like a really good value. Yabusele will be playable. And then everyone else doesn't really change for me too much. So that's going to do it for the slate, guys. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. And I will talk to y'all later.